Welcome to the Comics Experiment right here at the Comicstorian channel, brought to you on the Comicstorian Podcast Network, which is twitch.tv/Comicstorian every Tuesday and Thursday. Today's topic is going to be simply discussing, are comic books going too far, too quick? Specifically talking about death metal and the King in Black. This program is brought to you by our Patreons, patreon.com/Comicstorian. Our sponsor, G Fuel, use the code COMICS at checkout, and
our sponsor, Honey, where you can get honey for free at joinhoney.com/RNBE. They are also doing a giveaway right now, and we'll tell you more about that in the middle of today's episode.
Yes, so if today's your first time ever joining a Comics Experiment, where have you been? We have a great backlog, but this is the show where I
thought you were going to go, we got a great background, it's foam. Squishy. All the stuff down here, it's falling off because the cats like it.
Yeah, but you don't see that. So anyway, this is the show where I sit with Andy and Dan. We're all a part of the Comicstorian crew, and we discuss things about comic books. And today's topic is, after reading King in Black issue 1 and seeing what they've done with death metal, where it's all over the place at this point, I want to discuss, are comic events trying to go too big too quick to amp up the stakes? Because, honestly, where do we go from here? But we're going to talk about that in a minute. First, how was your guys' Thanksgiving?
Good.
I did nothing.
I also did nothing.
That is why it was epic.
And it was everything I thought it could be.
Did I hit record?
I'm pretty sure you did.
I'm pretty sure I did too, but now I'm questioning myself.
You always question
like
yourself.
I question myself in life.
Okay, so Andy, winter is coming apparently.
That is true.
Yeah.
It was quite cold yesterday.
We'll have a week
actually,
of it.
you know what? Actually, to go into our topic,
Sorry.
Endless Winter or Winter's Breath or
Endless Winter.
That's what it is.
Winter's Breath.
It's also
Ben's like,
brought
what
to you
should
by-
we name this comic book? Well, I am chewing gum at this exact moment.
And it's wintergreen.
Can we get a crossover deal with Wintergreen?
We shall call this event Peppermint.
Okay, so
Peppermint Batman?
let me give our usual background that we can then talk about for 2 minutes and then go way off topic, which is typically what the show does.
This is true.
So King in Black just came out. The initial issue, which you guys just did the review of,
That we did.
it's pretty much Null showing up and being like, screw you, Earth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah.
It's pretty much Null showing up and going, hey, picture everything that could go wrong in the worst way, and I'm going to do it.
He defeats, what, the Avengers, the X-Men, rips
No.
Sentry in half.
No.
And then you're like, oh, well, Venom will get it because Venom's been amping up his power and this is a Venom-centric thing.
Sure.
And Venom, and he goes, oh, nope, not you two. And he just throws Eddie Brock away. Yeah. Okay.
It started very, very insane. Because doesn't he also fuse himself? By the way, spoilers if you didn't know already. Doesn't he fuse himself with the Void?
Yes.
Yeah,
to make it even bigger, which, if you aren't aware, the Sentry has two parts. Both of them are the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe. The Sentry and the Void. The Void is just the pure evil version. And now Null is also empowered by that as well.
Right. And apparently it has, I was checking to make sure it wasn't like a 5-issue thing. It's definitely not. I didn't think it was going to be.
No, it is a 5-issue thing. The main story. Tell us what the extras, Benny.
The King in Black contains Symbiote Spider-Man King in Black, 1 of 5. So I'm not going to say the other 4. It's 1 of 5.
No. All of them. Say them all individually.
Atlantis Attacks number 5. Black Cat, King in Black 1 and 2 of 5. King in Black Handbook, King in Black Immortal Hulk, King in Black Iron Man Dr. Doom, King in Black Namor, Spider-Woman. Don't know why. More Symbiote Spider-Man.
She's got to fight symbiotes?
The Union, number 1 of 5.
Yeah.
Venom, Black Cat, Daredevil, Deadpool, Guardians of the Galaxy, King in Black 3, King in Black Black Knight.
They should just say all.
Every comic. No, because you know what's not in there? Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay. All right.
All. Or Avengers.
Minus Amazing Spider-Man and Avengers.
So fun thing I gotta say about the Union that Andy brought up during the review show is it was apparently supposed to come out during Empire, and Comixology did not change the synopsis, and it even mentions crazy stuff in Empire right now.
With Empire ongoing, what will the new British team do?
It's quite fun.
But it keeps going. King in Black, Black Knight, Gwenom versus Carnage. Okay, I don't care. 1 of 3? We're gonna get 3 issues of Gwenom versus Carnage, guys.
You know what? I'm actually excited for
I'm
that
excited for that one.
That's pretty good,
It
yeah.
better be very separate, just like Gwenom's evil because of this and Carnage is evil because of this. Fight.
Well, her symbiote is from her universe.
Right,
though,
but she's not
now.
Gwenom. It's just
No,
It's
I know.
a symbiotic
it's
suit.
Yeah, it's a symbiotic
Yeah.
suit, but it's not part of Null, technically. I
So
wonder
maybe
if that'll
she'll
help.
fight Carnage doing that.
yeah.
Namor, Planet of the Symbiotes, 1 of 3.
Sure.
I like how this just goes into January on the checklist, but half of these are quite obviously going to be ending over the course of February and March.
No.
yeah.
It's like 1 of 3 starts in January. Where's the other?
1 of 3 comes out in January, and 2 of 3 comes out in January, and 3 of 3 comes. They all just come out at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It doesn't make sense. So that is the King in Black event, and it started off super strong. Sentry being ripped in half. Null. It's Void, isn't it?
No, it's not. Who?
So-
what are you talking
Null took Void from Sentry.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So I want to actually quickly say something that I really hope they do, but I do not expect them to do. That I am seeing that I am very appreciative of X of Swords, of how they had. This is the main comic title, but they put the actual X of Swords
like
part
where it should
X
actually
of
be, yeah.
X.
For instance,
And I think if they do that, I'm going to be really excited because the number of comics that's coming out that you just showed, I have a feeling we're going to have another War of the Realms situation of no idea when each thing is supposed to happen.
And War of the Realms was incredible, by the way. It
Yes.
really was.
it's been my favorite Marvel event in a long time.
Yes, War of Realms was amazing. Ten of Swords did a very similar thing, but at least they kept it very straightforward because the top would say chapter 14.
Yeah, exactly,
So
yeah.
even if it felt out of place, you knew it was supposed to
Right.
go
You
You
there.
knew when to read what
Yeah,
issue.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that should be a new standard with these big events when it crosses a bunch of different comics. But sorry,
so-
I'll let you continue now.
On top of that, though, I'm trying to find the official checklist for Death Metal. There's no updated one, which makes our point more poignant. I think I might have used that word
I'm
right.
pretty sure it's poignant.
That one.
No, he's saying more puns.
For the record,
He's being pungent.
for the record, he put visage in the
yeah.
Korra script for the most recent one.
Yes.
And I went to it and I went visage. Screw you, Benny. Visage.
It's a visage. Gotta put on my visage.
So
and go
speaking
to
of
the
that,
prom
though, so
tonight.
King of Black has all these tie-ins.
Yes.
It's going to be a huge event.
Right.
They've been hyping it for like practically a year now because I'm pretty sure Venom was like, Null's on his way. I'm going to go on 3 other adventures.
Well, they hyped it. What was it? It was the end of
Absolute
Absolute
Carnage.
Carnage when he like sensed
Which is
Null.
Venom issue 19.
Yeah.
And Venom issue 30 just ended.
Yeah, I was gonna say since that was when he was like, "Oh God, there's a thing out there. It's coming."
And he,
Actually, I think
at
we'll get
first he
to it.
didn't tell
We'll
the
get to it,
Avengers,
yeah.
which was like a whole plot point. Like, why
yeah.
didn't you tell us?
Didn't he technically
forgot
show
about
up
this.
more at first in the Silver Surfer Black?
No. So
They met.
I know they met,
Yeah,
and
they
there was like a
met.
big factor, like showing the
Yeah.
Null. I couldn't remember when that took
a
place.
lot
but it
of
seemed
a
very
lot of these earlier
early.
appearances of Null have not actually been Null. So Null himself has been trapped in the planet of the symbiotes.
Correct.
Yes.
And he just got free.
correct.
Grendel and all the other Null-centric stuff, even Absolute Carnage, Null had no idea. That's why when he sees Eddie, he goes, "Oh, you're that one," because he got a lot of the memories, but it wasn't physically Null.
No, that one I know, but the Silver Surfer Black was real because that
Okay.
was actually a
He time
time
traveled,
jump
yeah.
to the start, and that's actually the story of
Why he's black?
why
Yeah.
Silver Surfer is black now and why Null got imprisoned because it's about imprisoning Null.
Okay,
if
well,
I
I'm just saying,
remember.
like, and that also doesn't help because I didn't catch that at first until like Null finally got free, and then they were all like, "Null's on his way." I'm like, wasn't Null already here? Like, there's a
Right.
whole bunch of stuff where you're all like, "Praise Null." Like,
yeah.
It was like what do you call it? Because it's all the symbiotes, so it's like it's a part of Null, but it's not
Yeah.
Null.
exactly, and that's why he
It's not
kind of
Null
knew
himself.
Eddie,
Yeah,
but he
yeah.
didn't know Eddie.
Right.
You
It's
know?
a Null fragment.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good
So-
way to put it. A fragment of Null.
So it's crazy. It's sprawling. It started out just like Death Metal did. Now, Death Metal initially, if you watch back to one of our other interviews with Scott Snyder, it was a very more clean cut event. I believe it had the 6 initial issues, like 3 tie-ins.
Well, it's like
2
Dark
side
Knight's
stories, and
Metal
that
was
it.
basically like that.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
much more clear cut.
He had a very clear cut plan for it, and
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because DC is just in that weird spiral. Which side tangent? People are sitting around like DC's going down, DC's firing all these people. Look at all these crap books they're putting out. First off, most of the crap books probably got greenlit 2 years ago.
Probably.
I don't think you understand how long it takes to publish something.
Yeah.
It's
2
a
weeks.
long time.
Ah, it's 2 weeks.
Look at Doomsday Clock.
All right, that one took 18 years, but Doomsday Clock actually, the first issue of Doomsday Clock came out before the Watchmen book ever was written by Alan Moore. Yeah. And
It's actually a prequel to Watchmen.
DC was like, "Hey, Alan Moore, can you write us a book
I just
that
they
makes
announced,
this make more sense?"
they announced
please?"
another graphic novel going straight to bookshelves like Barnes and Noble and stuff of Starfire's daughter, who's a goth overweight
Yes,
girl.
it's called I am not Starfire, and it is a gay goth daughter of Starfire.
Yep, that's the pitch, by the way. That's not us saying this.
Yeah.
That's the pitch of the book. But of course, all the naysayers are like, this is why DC had to fire a bunch of people. And they're still putting out this stuff. And I'm just thinking like, well, you may be right that Warner Brothers came in and said, no, we just want Batman. What are you doing?
Right.
Literally just all Batman. Every single book is Batman.
I don't even doubt WB. Someone in WB is like, so why isn't Batman just in everything?
Just Action Comics, Batman.
That's actually the real reason for the Dark Multiverse is they were like, well, we can't use Batman and everything. What if we made different versions?
But like something like a YA novel did not get greenlit and published in a month.
That is what killed DC, Ben.
I just want it known for those out there. I technically wrote a backup to a comic book 2 years ago.
It's true.
It might finally come out in February. It's why I don't talk about it.
Really? Because I thought it was supposed to come out this year too.
No, but now it's officially got a greenlit.
Oh, okay.
As far as I know.
It's never happened.
I wrote that before Andy came to work with us. Because remember,
2 years ago,
I was talking to you.
I'm
No,
pretty
seriously.
sure.
No, but I'm saying like that's how long ago I wrote it. You weren't here yet.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
do you want to
yeah.
know how long ago it was? It was before Gary worked for us, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Because I remember talking to Andy about
Empires
it
have risen and fallen
since I wrote that.
faster than
You know what?
coming
We
out.
started it like around issue 2 of Doomsday Clock. That's never going to die, by the way.
Nope.
Anyway, the point I'm making is that DC, regardless of the reasoning, basically has turned what appeared to be a very clear-cut death metal event into about 50 different tie-ins. My favorite of which so
Side
far
books.
was Lobo, who gets briefly mentioned in issue 5. By the way, Lobo was off doing stuff.
You saw him in issue 1.
He's
in like the last page of issue 1 where he's like, I found the death metal.
He's like, by the way, guys, I think
then,
you'll
like,
need this.
4 months later, we get the issue where like the whole quest to find the death metal, and then in issue 5, they're like, Lobo got us the death metal.
Exactly. Well, that's what I was saying.
All
Like,
right.
and if you look at the original thing, though, Death Metal Extreme wasn't a thing.
It had 3 X's.
Which I will say, Comicsology needs to fix their searching
That was
system
impossible to
because
find.
you cannot find the majority of these comics because they're titled in weird ways. We noticed this with U.S. Agent because it's one word.
Oh yeah, I was
that
trying to
you
find
can't-
U.S. Agent for the Talk Cell,
Yeah.
and I'm like, U.S. Agent doesn't work. It's U.S. Agent. It's literally one word, not U.S.
yeah.
Agent.
Fix your search engine.
Comicsology search engine.
Amazon.
Especially if every comic book company is going to try to name things all catchy and SEO bad.
Yeah. Seriously. All right. Sorry.
Sorry.
Death metal.
Yes.
Way too much.
But it also came out of the gate with them losing.
Yep.
The enemy is too strong. And then the enemies got stronger.
We now have 2 gods.
Throwing planets
Smash.
at each other.
It's just like, oh, I see your face. Let me smash a planet on it.
And don't worry, the main DC planet is okay, but now they're throwing planets at the planets.
To which they always show them big enough that you're like, wait a second, they're pretty close. I think that would affect
No.
like the ocean and stuff.
No. That's
Okay.
a myth.
So death metal,
Perpetuated by scientists.
death metal started out insane and then got
Perpetuated,
bigger
yeah.
as it went.
Nah.
Yeah,
King in Black is starting out insane and is already insane if you look at the checklist.
Technically true, yes.
Yeah.
On top of all of this, just to go into our topic here, of comics, literally issue 1 creating an enemy that is so strong. How the hell is DC and Marvel going to create something bigger than Null and Perpetua? Well, I guess the one who laughs now, technically. Because he's literally throwing blows with Perpetua, so
Yeah.
who knows at this point?
How do you create someone stronger than the strongest god in the universe? Not a problem. What you do is you have Wonder Woman kill them with a magical chainsaw. You then put that person's mind essence inside a
Something
Dr.
like that.
Manbattan.
Dr.
Manhattan. I love that.
I thought it was Bat Hatton.
No, I prefer this
I like
one.
Manbattan, honestly.
Yeah, this is way better.
They really dropped the ball on that one, Scott Snyder. Anyway,
For the record, he actually hates the people
I
calling
do.
Batman
Yeah,
Hatton.
I know, yeah. Because they should have called it Manbattan. I mean, I could keep going with this joke.
But
that's-
anyway.
That's essentially what you do.
Because DC also just came out with that thing again.
Right.
So if you read Endless Winter, right?
Yes. It was
Okay.
a very meh first issue.
It was a very mad first issue, but once again, it started out with, this guy is so strong.
Right. It's so comic books have gotten the Goku syndrome.
Well, so
That's a great. I think that's a
First off,
That's 100. That's the easiest way to describe it. Every Dragon Ball Z arc is the most powerful being in the universe shows up. Goku must then train to become the most powerful being in the universe to beat the most powerful being in the universe.
Yep.
And in the following arc, the most powerful being in the universe shows up.
The thing that I've noticed actually between the difference between Marvel and DC in the most powerful and creating even more powerful is DC likes to go in the direction of, okay, we created something, let's fuse some more things into something new. Like they go, okay, we got kryptonite. We're going to, or sorry, not kryptonite, Kryptonian crystals. We're going to fuse it with this ancient beast. And like now it's more powerful. Batman who laughs, he's now more powerful. Whereas Marvel's like, oh, well, so the first people ever were the first Celestials. Oh, we need someone stronger? So before the first Celestials, Null existed.
There was just darkness.
And like,
Keep going earlier. Keep going earlier.
Before darkness,
that's what they keep
there
doing.
was
Void. It was the void.
It was the void.
Yeah.
But, like,
Darkness
if
wasn't
you-
even dark enough for the void.
like even in X of Swords, it literally is, they go, before everything, there were the externals. They were these beings that became before, and it's just like, we get it. There are people before time. But it's just interesting that DC goes forward and just does the Dragon Ball syndrome, whereas Marvel just goes back and creates someone before someone they already created.
Actually, I will say, I feel like Marvel's doing the Dragon Ball syndrome more so, literally with the Sentry. Don't worry, guys. We've got our Sentry. Sentry got ripped in half. $5, he's going to be in a hyperbolic chamber healing.
Oh yeah, probably. No. What's going to happen
He's
is
gonna go to the
4
negative zone
clones
again.
of Sentry's going to show up. One's a teenager. One's a cyborg. One's a dude in a suit.
One's got really cool glasses, like Oakley's or something.
Yeah.
Looks like a gym teacher.
And then, like I said, they did that in Endless Winter, though. They did the same
Yes.
exact thing.
Yeah.
So powerful. They did it in Deceased.
Well, that comes back down to just, and I've said this before, the wheel of comic book stories.
Right.
It just keeps spinning.
Because one thing that I never
Actually-
understood is how does Batman go from like, I have fought gods.
Right.
Bane, you took my city. Now I have to go get my butt
Right.
He's
kicked.
literally punched Darkseid in the face.
I will say, because you compared it with Deceased there for a second, I wouldn't put Deceased in that, because I think Deceased does it properly where it's a problem that they have not encountered that they need to fix. Where it's
Sure,
like,
yeah.
because
It's
like
not one being that shows up.
exactly,
It's, the anti-life
it's not
equation.
one
It
where they
takes
have to
everybody
get
on.
stronger.
Yeah.
It's one where they have to think differently to
Yeah,
solve it.
I would say
and
that,
I think
yeah.
that is the way that works very well, because when they start too big, with the number of issues in there, there's no way they're going to reach this hype that they've just instilled in us in all of these issues.
Well, that's the problem we're having with Death Metal at this point. Death Metal's great. I do love Death Metal, but it's gotten to a point where it's like, all right, guys, we have the plan. We're going to solve this. Oh, he thought of that.
All right.
He was
All right,
planning
we're going
for
again.
that.
We're going again.
We got the Mobius chair. We're just gonna shoot the thing in there, and Batman was like, "I knew you were gonna do that. How did you know we were gonna do that? We didn't know we were gonna do that. This is bullshit."
That's exactly what Death Metal. Death Metal's gotten to the point where, as much as I love it, I'm like, can it just kind of wrap? And like,
Yeah.
you keep amping it up, and like, it's only technically like 7 issues long.
5, I think 5 or 6. It's not even
Supposed
that.
to be.
Yeah.
You went from like, it's just Batman controlling the entire world, to it's just Batman with a bunch of other Batmen, to it's just Batman Hen, to now he's just a god, to now he's just apparently a shadow.
He's a shadow god.
Shadow God.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where Null's gonna go.
Well,
Right.
yeah.
With all those tie-ins.
I'm gonna spoil the King in Black for you guys real quick. All right,
Let's all predict how we expect this to
this
go.
is how it's gonna
Let's see
happen.
You're
All
gonna
right.
get another episode of this, by the way, in like March when it
We'll
wraps.
see how accurate I super was.
Well, when they're halfway through, you mean.
So the first issue, he's destroyed Sentry. Right, he's sealed the planet in a symbiote orb.
Obviously.
Sure. So here, I'm just gonna go ahead and spoil the ending for you.
Which, for the record, Earth 2 plot.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Big evil guy shows up, terraforms the planet.
So we're gonna spend a few issues of the heroes getting their butts kicked by the symbiotes, by Null.
Yep.
Eventually, I don't know how, because I'm not that good. Eddie Brock is gonna somehow gain the powers of the symbiote god and go toe to toe with Null and beat him.
So War of the Realms?
Wait.
Yeah, it's essentially
Okay, I'm gonna make a twist that I think you'll agree on.
All right, go ahead.
I think it's not gonna be Eddie Brock.
It's gonna be Dylan.
It's gonna be Dylan.
Yeah.
He's gonna start going in the direction of Codex from the alternate
Yep.
universe that was evil. Then Eddie's gonna break through. He's gonna get him on their side. He's gonna turn on Null. He's gonna imprison Null, and
That's
he's
good.
gonna
That's
either
solid.
need to be like the jailer, and they'll remove him from stories for a while,
Yeah, I see that.
or he's gonna become like the new Agent Venom style character.
I have a better idea. Similar to yours, except as Dylan is about
better.
to no. But as Dylan's about to become Codex, he stops because he doesn't want to accept the darkness. Codex comes through, and we get to see a finale to Anne or Annie or Anna.
No, they cured Codex.
Yeah,
in
Right,
that other
no,
universe.
he's cured, but I'm
Right.
just saying, like they said he's like comatose and he's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
able
yeah.
to talk much. And
I
stuff
see.
like that.
So they're gonna use him.
Right,
I
they're
gotcha.
gonna bring Codex over,
can
and
see
now
that.
that he's good, he'll be the one to tap in.
I can see that.
Dylan won't become Codex; they'll use Codex.
But the spoiler really is Null's going to lose.
Well, see, that's the thing is I don't think it's going to be a Dylan's decision thing. I think it's going to be a Null forces him
I
to
can see that.
become it,
Yeah.
and it's going to be the
Dylan becomes
breaks
Null.
through because, like, it's the
you know what Dylan could use to break through?
Wait. Actually, no. Before we go into that,
I've got it.
Before we go into that, no, I know exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be that guy from the Wraith issue, the opposite of Null, the light being, and that's going to be the one that goes into Dylan.
Cowboy, the cosmic cowboy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
The way that white guy showed up was through a portal.
Today's podcast is sponsored by Honey. This holiday season, Honey is going above and beyond by having a drop list giveaway and giving you the chance to have Honey pay for one of your holiday gifts. And yes, this is the same Honey that helps you save money when shopping online. So entering this drop list giveaway is a win-win. You have a chance to win one of your gifts for free, and even if you don't, you still are going to be saving money since Honey automatically scours the web for the best possible coupons to get you the best deal at checkout. To enter the drop list giveaway, simply add Honey to your computer, create a free account, and toss some gifts into your drop list. Honey will randomly select the winners and help them buy a gift. No purchase necessary. You need a PayPal account to redeem the prize, and is only valid as a US giveaway, which ends on 12/21/2020. But this drop list isn't just for the giveaway. When putting items on this list, you will automatically get emailed if one of those items goes on sale. It doesn't work on all sites, but it does work on a lot of them, including Macy's, Target, and Walmart, to name a few. I put a few extra PS5 controllers on there, so fingers crossed. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/RNBE. That's joinhoney.com/RNBE.
Good save.
I had to do it before we went in the portal because I'm like, this is relevant. All right, close the portal.
I got two things I want to say. First off, just a side note. I'm finishing Venom 30, right? Before we go into King. I started King of Black, and I'm like, how did Venom get back? Did I miss something? Oh, no, it came out the same day, because that's what they do.
I think they start with King in Black though, because like you don't need to know anything from that last arc at all. He's like on the rooftop, like, Null's here.
Which, let's be honest,
Which confused me, because I'm like, isn't he in the other universe?
I better swing over and kiss my son goodnight, even though he's already asleep, and then go, hey, Cap. Yeah, Null's here. What were you guys just doing with Khonshu? No, don't worry about that. Null's here.
I'm now very curious how many issues of Venom start with Eddie Brock on the top of a building looking out going,
I am Venom.
I am Venom.
Dylan is his sidekick. Codex.
Come,
Codex.
But I'm reading through that last issue, which has a lot of the wife. Is it Anne or is
Annie.
it Annie? Okay.
Annie.
Has a lot of her in the Flash Thompson suit.
Yeah, which looks weird.
That's my point. It looks really, because at first it was fine because they were using it to like make us think it was Flash Thompson.
Sure, yeah.
But I got confused from it because they've continually drawn it in this big buffed out man with a tiny head in it. Like, why?
It actually turns out that's her body type.
Female characters looking female.
No, I'm okay with that, but it's the decision to keep it looking like Flash
Right,
Thompson when in that timeline, Flash Thompson didn't wear it. Or am I forgetting that?
He did it. No, I think he did, and then he died going against Codex, and then she
And
took
that's
over.
how she got it?
so,
I
yeah.
think
Okay,
so.
so that's how she kept the appearance of it. It was more of the decision of like, I get why they're
Why
doing
wouldn't
it.
she alter the suit? To
Why,
look
why
like her
wouldn't
own
you?
suit?
Unless if Flash did. I couldn't remember if Flash wore it or not in that universe.
Right. I think it's also a combination of that and going, well, we did it originally so you thought it was Flash Thompson, but it
We
would
don't wanna
make
change it
no
now,
well, it
yeah.
would make no sense that she's been fighting in this universe for years looking like this.
And then
but
she-
now that he's here,
he's here.
well, now I'm slender
better
and
look
I
curvy.
now I look like Scream, but
And you're not wrong.
yeah.
But the only reason it like clicked in my head like this looks a little off is there's one panel of her walking forward with her tiny head, but her hair, yellow hair, kind of switched aside.
Right.
And I just initially was like, Flash Thompson. Oh no, he's not alive in here. Like,
Oh, Flash is pretty. It's the lips. Anyway.
So this also brings up another point though. These are all starting out super, super strong, right? Like where do we go from here? Kind of an attitude, right?
Yeah,
and they're all trying to go with that idea. But it also brings back to the writing styles of Scott Snyder and Donny Cates recently. I've been following both their runs. I'm a huge fan of just the explosive kind of like, oh my God, kind of writing they do generally.
Right.
Scott Snyder does like, all of his superhero books are like that for the most part. Ever since his Batman run ended, everything is like, how far can I amp it up? How
I can't believe they're letting me do that. I've been drunk for like 6 months. Just coming up with shit.
And it's really awesome. But then Donny Cates, whether he did it himself or was inspired by Scott Snyder, I do know that they know each other in talk.
Yeah.
He's doing a very similar style where every issue is like, oh my God.
Right.
Donald Blake is insane.
Which, for the record, he's doing it very well in
Yeah.
Thor, where
Oh, yeah.
like it does keep the hype, but it doesn't drop to the point that you're like, I'm bored.
Well, like the whole Herald
I'm
of Thunder
fair.
arc, every cliffhanger was like, what?
Yeah.
And then every Venom arc is like, what? And like everything is all about how high can I amp it? How high can I amp it? Do you think that this has led to the nature of these two big sprawling stories being so big? Because it is all about shock value at this point.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's almost taking to the point of like the shock value of YouTube, the shock value of Twitter, the shock value of Instagram, the amount of people that just make a comment to see what happens. They've taken this concept of just make a comment, get your clickbait, thrown it into comic book format. What if there was a god of symbiotes and he could rip Century in half? Where are you going to go after that, Donnie? We'll figure it out in issue 6.
I don't know, but Thor's a Herald of Galactus now.
And actually, Noel's going to be planning this the whole time. The people are going to try and do something, and then he's going to be like, I planned the whole time.
And what if he was the Herald of Galactus and they went to Fortnite? Donnie, what are you smoking? Wait. That's actually a good idea.
I was just kidding about that one. No, it's going to be awesome.
No, you said it. You said it.
Mate. No, I disagree.
Okay.
To which part?
That's it.
The Fortnite being good. No, thank you. No, this is a new thing. This isn't a new thing at all. Like, if you go, just go back to the most recent event, War of the Realms. I'm skipping over Empire. It sucked. Let's say War of the Realms. In the first
Most
issue,
recent good event.
in the first issue, the 9 realms, Malekith takes over the Earth.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Where did you go from
where
there?
do you go from there? Well,
Well-
you have to have everybody fighting back. You go
Right.
back to what was it? Secret Empire, first issue. Captain America's a Nazi. What are you gonna? And they're taking over the Earth. Go back even further. What was it? Secret Wars, first issue. We've destroyed the multiverse.
I like how you bold it. Like,
Where do we go from there? We smash them all together. Doom did it off panel. Sure.
I just love.
Also, some of the villains survived in a multiverse time ship. And they're going to show up.
Andy, have you been pitching things to Marvel?
I have been, yes.
You know, you're right though, because
So this isn't a new thing.
DC did the same thing though.
yeah.
They found Dr. Manhattan, and he can literally blink you out of existence.
So where do we go from there? Well, Superman has a heart-to-heart with him.
You know what? Very anticlimactic. Just saying.
Well, so I will say.
Well, I guess, sure, why not?
But
Is he going to punch him? Yeah, maybe punch him with feelings.
we'll make you think he's gonna punch him for 10 issues.
For 10 issues, which are going to take 47 years to come out.
You know, in all honesty, though, Scott Snyder's also done this. Like, he'll hype up to an event, and then the event starts. Like when Joker took over everything in Endgame. Oh, Gotham is now nothing but Joker clones. I've got a plan for that. I prepped.
Don't worry, I've prepped for Joker clones. I'm going to call bullshit. How did you prep for Joker clones?
And then why didn't you prep to stop them before the
Before
cloning?
it happened.
You know, why isn't any of this
Batman,
prep?
all of Batman's prep is after the fact.
It's all reactive, not preventative.
Exactly.
He's not a proactive superhero by any stretch of the imagination.
I mean, it's Superman, same deal. Rogal, like Bendis came out of the gate with like, he smashed everything with Superman.
Hold on, we'll go back farther. Death of Superman. First miniseries, we kill Superman. What are we gonna do for the next year? Don't worry, we got that shit covered.
Actually, we'll go even farther back. Dark Knight Returns. We're gonna start it. They already lost.
Yep. We're jumping ahead 30 years. Who cares?
Okay.
I mean, realistically,
We're just cracking Dan up.
This isn't a new thing. It's just it's
Batman's
just-
back is broken right when they meet.
Boom.
So I will say,
next 5 years is a blonde guy. He's got claws
And a flamethrower.
and he shoots bat bullets. So you know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't a new thing. I think now they just condense it down into more of an event.
Okay.
Well,
Whereas instead of like a year's worth of comics.
right. That, and I think one of the biggest factors that at least affects it for me personally is War of the Realms. I didn't mind as much because it wasn't. While yes, it was Malekith because he had convinced or taken over all these different realms,
Right,
and
yeah,
he
yeah.
had them behind him. It's my problem is like the Rogal Zar, or actually not the Batman Who Laughs, when he becomes the one who laughs. Sure. But when it's, or like Null, where it's one being that's
Right,
more
right.
powerful, or like Dr. Manhattan, it's just one being. Those are the ones that I get annoyed with, because when it's like a group of people, it's like okay, well, you can divide and
makes
conquer.
sense, yeah.
Like, it
and
makes
Malekith
sense
had been
that
like
they're more
taking over the realms
powerful.
in Mighty Thor prior to that. Yeah.
Like, it takes a while, but when they show up and they're just like, by the way, I'm more powerful than anyone, and I've been here forever, and now you're all just dead.
It's more of a spotlight on it.
Exactly.
But it also skips all the prep work.
Yeah.
Because when Bane broke Batman's back, that was almost 2 years leading up to that, only to have Batman fail. Now, here's a question. I don't think it was 2 full years, but does the build-up like Endgame or like Death of Superman, where they had the whole fight sequence up to the death, does that lead more credence to the fact that this guy's so big and so powerful, or does Null showing up and ripping people in half, or Batman Who Laughs, we warp ahead a year, everyone's jailed, he won.
I took over. Not only did I take over, I warped the entire planet to be in a bat-shaped continent. Because why not? It's all about branding.
I'm waiting for that meeting.
This is Earth Bat. It's just a giant Earth shaped like
No,
a
that's
bat.
like Gotham City Batman.
That's right.
That's literally the city.
So, and
Which is
also,
now in a snow globe.
By the way, we're also in a strange D&D Mad Max world. Why? Cause
Why not?
Cause it's cool. Have you seen my coat?
My favorite moment was Speed Metal, when the Flashes all like get turned into
Right.
and they're just like, the death metal's affecting us, go!
How does the death
was-
metal affect
Yeah.
wardrobe?
It was that, as well as the when Justice League Odyssey guys showed up and like Starfire walks through and she's now got a
Now
mohawk. And she's
mohawk.
like, what the hell happened to
She looks
us?
good with a mohawk.
She does,
She
actually.
doesn't. She look
That was
terrible.
funny.
I think so. At this point, and like I said, because now they've taken these, like Death of Superman, Batman getting his bat broken, and that sort of thing, which they stretched out over like, you know, a mini series about when the event happened, and then like a year afterwards. I think nowadays they just kind of jump through that initial mini series.
Right.
Like, we don't build up to Null. Like, it's not 5 issues of Null slowly taking down the Earth.
Right.
It's just like, screw it. We got to get to the part where the heroes have to now save the Earth once again from Null. So we just got to have Null beat them all real quick.
Right.
So
Okay.
5 pages, Null rips Sentry apart, sure. Everybody's looking for Thor, but he's over in Donald
know what I've
Drake's
done-
magical suburb.
He really is.
Which I will say, I'm glad Donnie Kreitz, wow.
Donnie Craps, more like it.
Is writing both, because it's very clear it's happening at the,
He's
like, the same
Thor
time.
is in the suburb.
Where they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
where's Thor? He's doing something else. We can't get a hold of him.
I liked Xavier like he's in a Power Rangers Zord or something. She's like, oh, you guys need a God of Thunder. I got a goddess. Here, go.
My first thought when I read that
about ones
page
with boobs?
before it, I was like, oh man, if only they included the X-Men with all these powers, and then they brought him in. I'm like, for the first time, they actually mentioned the X-Men in a story that involves the
wanted
Avengers.
Captain America to go, now we're good for help
Yeah.
with you dirty mutants.
I just love how they
Dirty
portrayed
mutie.
Professor X in that. It was just a head. So
Yeah.
he had no idea where he was or what he was doing.
yeah.
He's like radioing in. Like,
Yeah.
I'm safe on the
He's
island.
actually on Krakoa, just sitting in his chair.
It looked,
All my X-Men.
it looked like a scene from
All right, good
Star
job.
Wars where it's like, Xavier calling in. Xavier 5 calling in. Xavier 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think that's what it is. Instead of giving us the build-up series, they're just like, screw it, we're going to get to the part where
They
no
go,
one's
we're
that
starting
better
with
or
a
worse?
climax. That's what it is. We're starting with a climax,
like
then we
my
go.
love life.
And then we go to a second climax instead of building up to
Yeah.
one climax.
multiple climaxes.
is that better
The
or
best
worse?
comics have multiple climaxes.
Do you like foreplay or do you not
No,
like
no, you go straight into the climax.
I mean, if the foreplay is good enough. I'm just saying.
I think it depends on the story. Sometimes I think it can get overdone. But I mean, it depends on what kind of story you're trying to tell.
See, yeah, I'll say that I think arcs or these events should be a little longer and kind of go more in the direction
longer than like
of,
4 months?
No, sorry, longer in terms of issues because I'm going to compare it to Injustice, where it started off with like an issue of two of going, there's hope. You're about to have a baby.
Oh, no,
Here's
there's
something
not.
big, and then we had that huge climax. But it was after something. I'm like accentuating an.
I know. Yeah, you are.
Yeah. I'm climaxing the climax.
Yeah.
Climaxception. All right. But anyway, it like leads you up to make that first climax
This show is sponsored.
even
I just want you all to
more.
know that.
We don't want to be sponsoring.
So
you
this
guys
high
anymore. You
point-
said climax too much.
We have sponsors.
Too bad we don't have the sexual wellness one
I know.
anymore. It would
By the
Don't
way,
worry.
use the code comics at G Fuel when checking out,
Okay.
and
Go to joinhoney.com/RNVE.
thank you for sponsoring
Yes.
this show. Now talk
Thank
about
you.
your climaxes.
Yes. Well, so the point of what I was trying to get at is that extreme moment felt more because we had a lull at the start that really got to you. Whereas these new ones are skipping that lull and hoping you read the previous stuff. Whereas if you didn't read those previous issues, because it's a completely different named thing, so
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
know what's leading into it, that you can miss that lead up. And sometimes it's so important.
I was gonna say, I would say generally right now they're stretching out the lead ups a lot more. Like Null's been popping up in Venom and Thor and blah blah blah.
Would
where-
this have been better if they just went absolute carnage to Null
Yes.
probably yeah.
instead of just
Yeah.
peppering him in for the last year?
I was gonna say that's what they've been doing. They've been peppering in. It
Either
was the
that
same
or
thing
like
with
a
the Batman
month
Who Laughs.
period of leading into it.
With the Batman Who Laughs and Dark Knight or Death Metal, like Batman Who Laughs been popping up in DC
Too much.
universe.
You and I were joking about
Yeah,
that.
like
For a Batman who's evil, his plan
everywhere.
seemed to be to fail
a lot,
repeatedly.
but he was planning it all.
He's like the word climax
I
on
said-
this show.
I
It
just-
started off saying it once, and then we just used it nonstop.
I have the image of remember when he was like captured by Batman for
Yeah.
a little while,
Right.
after Dark Knight's Metal. You
Oh, and
I
catched by
just-
Batman or Lex Luthor?
Well, both. I just sent this image of him with a notebook, and he just writes down Mobius chair question mark. And he's like, "We're gonna get to that in 5 years." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they've been peppering
Right.
in these big events or like these big villains more into the ongoing series.
I
You
think
just have me picture the Batman who laughs like cross-legged.
yeah,
and
just
so
like coming up with whole plans.
he's got a fireplace
Flashes are
next
going
to
to
him.
run. Evil speedsters.
bat-shaped continent branding question mark.
I think-
Merchandising T-shirts.
So I think honestly,
McFarlane toys.
one of the best parts or best spots that they should have done the Batman Who Laughs like death metal would have been after the arc of Joker saying, "Lex, you should not be doing this." I think that Year of the Villain should not have been there because I feel like that just took
think
too
a
long.
lot of people think
and that
that.
led us into the Batman Who Laughs, but ignored all the Year of the Villain people for the most part.
Year of the Villain was weird because it was a cool idea.
It was a great idea.
that I felt like really went nowhere because it was like Lex was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go work for this god lady. So here's some money. Have fun.
Yeah.
Go do some cool stuff. I'm gonna go work for her."
Hey, Lobo.
Betrayed you. You guys are all powering her battery now. What a bunch of idiots.
That's what I mean. Like,
I got a scar on my face.
Ah, man. I don't like the Batman Who Lives.
Like, I don't know. I think the idea for Year of the Villain was great.
Yeah.
I don't. Where it went just kind of was like, oh.
But that's my point. Like all of these, it feels like with all of these events, we're immediately in like ramping it up to 11. But they've been, instead of it being like an event, it's kind of like these events are all the culmination of these years of stories that we've been peppering in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So instead of it's just like this one thing, it's really the last since Dark Knight Metal, realistically.
Which honestly,
like Null, it's been since basically like when did Null even first pop up? It wasn't
Venom 1.
I was
Because it was Grendel.
Yeah, it wasn't even like Absolute Carnage. It was like, Venom 1 where they started talking about. So realistically, that's been the build-up.
Yeah, that's true.
Technically, wasn't Ruins of Ravencroft?
No,
it was one along before
that,
long actually.
Null's first, as far as I'm aware, was his first reveal was as Grendel and the Symbiote God issues 1 through 6 with Miles and Venom.
Yeah.
They then wrapped it around to whatever that sword is, the black sword that
the
Thor.
Necroblade.
Yeah, that was also Null.
Yeah, it was actually
they tied
part of
them
Null.
together.
Gore was actually using part of Null.
Yeah. But Null's first reveal was with Grendel.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it feels like this event is immediately ramping up through 11, but realistically, this event has had 3 years of buildup.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's like War of the Realms because that started a year and a half.
That was starting.
Years
that was all happening in the background of the Mighty Thor.
Yeah.
I was gonna say War of the Realms took almost 4 years to build up because it was before he went unworthy.
Yeah,
then Jane Foster. All of that was.
I remember Gore, and then in the League of Realms fought against Malekith, but Malekith seeded the idea of taking over everything.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's not that there's no build-up anymore. It's just that there's years of build-up.
If any, it's
that
almost
if you haven't been reading, tough on you. I don't know what to tell you.
It's like an accordion. They're like, all right, so here's the build-up event.
Here's
the build-up event.
Okay. So I think we've kind of hit the nail on the head with a lot of this discussion. I want to end one last portion tangent, but it's tied to
end
this.
with a climax.
A climactic discussion. What is up with only using Sentry to come in and get murdered? When was the last time he did something?
Actually, it was the Annihilation Scourge event.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Ever since then, Cap's always send him in. Ryan Reynolds.
You know what it was?
Ever?
Sentry?
Actually,
isn't he hiding out in a house because he's still agoraphobic
So
or
essentially
something?
what happened was he was split from the Void, sent to the negative zone. That was the only way that they were able to keep them apart. Scourge Annihilation happened. Void broke through with the Cancerverse. They eventually got the Sentry back out. They merged the two again. He's been doing his own thing in space. I think they put him on a planet.
Space stuff.
But I have a feeling that they used him for the sake of what we were diving into of going, he's more powerful than the one we have established as our most powerful.
Yeah.
It's also really
Sentry
convenient
did
in Marvel.
cut through all those the Celestials real quick, though.
Yeah, they took them out.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's also Marvel.
Why didn't they call him in back then? No, I'm just kidding.
I do think it's funny because Marvel likes to use Sentry as the he is so powerful we never use him, and when we do, he dies.
To show you that the new most powerful thing is in the universe.
Actually, I just realized
But
how they're
since they
going to
never
do
use him, they
this.
can kill him easy.
I just realized how they're going to do this because the Void can't exist without the Sentry existing, and Void
He's gonna come
merged
back.
with Null, which means Sentry's existing somewhere, and he's going to reform.
I was
going
to say Sentry's going to come back.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
They need him. They need him for the next event so that he can.
Exactly.
They just need Thor to show
This is
up,
Null
call
2.
the living storm down on the planet Earth to kill off the symbiote globe, orb, whatever you want to call it.
Pterodome.
I feel like,
Pterodome.
and just as a prediction on all the stuff we were talking about, I feel like it's going to come down to Thor and Venom beating Null. Venom's going to mostly beat him. Thor's going to finish him with the power of Galactus.
Of course he is. Donny Cates is writing both.
That's what I said. That's why. And that's also why Thor's not there right now, because Donny Cates has really powered up Thor.
Ooh,
yeah.
Actually, that's a great point. Maybe this event with Donald Blake and Thor is going to make him powerful enough to handle Null.
Oh, I can see that.
That's what I mean. It's Venom's going to mostly win, but I feel like it'll be Absolute Carnage, where at the very ending, he'll do something to save Dylan instead.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, I've doomed everything. And then Thor's going to be like, you called a god.
You rang. Hello.
Spinning the hammer. Hey!
You guys miss me?
I must smack this mother.
And on that note, guys, thank you for watching today's episode of Comics Experiment, where we're going to smack this motherfucker. Dylan, you better bleep those. Anyway, guys.
None of this was usable. None of it.
We have to redo the whole episode.
The whole episode.
What was today's sponsors, Dan?
Today's sponsors were G Fuel, where you can use the code COMICS at checkout, save 10% on your order, or go to joinhoney.com/RNBE to get honey for free. And we told you about that sweepstakes that they are doing to help potentially buy something on your wish list.
And if you want to support us directly,
You can go to patreon.com/comicstorian. $2 minimum gets you access to exclusive podcasts, early access content, and much more.
awesome, guys. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week at the Comics Experiment.
Right here at twitch.tv/comicstorian every Thursday at roughly 3 p.m. Eastern. Bye.